Hola guapas, how are you? Okay, today I wanted to do a follow up of my last podcast because it just goes so deep. I really feel so strongly about our health, especially as we get into midlife, and that we get to be the ones who advocate for our health because we just know ourselves the best. And we need to learn to trust our bodies, to listen to our bodies, to get back to that. And there's this saying that goes, when you're healthy, you have hundreds of problems. But when you're sick, you only have one problem. And getting into midlife, I want this to be the best time of our life. So I don't want our body to be what slows us down. So I wanted to just piggyback on the last conversation that we had because I was so excited to share just how amazing my experience in Spain was because of the food. Like, just, I love food. Love food because I feel that food is what creates our body. We are what we eat, or we are what we digest, what one of my teachers said. So, our food is critical. And I just experienced it in a whole new way when I was in Spain, and just made me kind of rethink everything, but just wanted to put more time and effort into it because it's so important. So let me just start with this. This is just my belief. From all the things that I've studied, I've been studying health and nutrition for a very long time. I'm just a curious person, and it starts with me needing to fix something in my body, and it started with nutrition, and that's when I went down the rabbit hole. And then also, not only am I a holistic nutritionist and I'm a mindset coach, so I coach the unconscious mind, but I'm also an energy healer. So I studied for 3 years to be an energy healer. It was an amazing experience. But I use all of these together because they're all related, because that's what we are. Our body is just energy, and energy never dies, it just transforms. And so I take all of these when I work with a client and myself, because I'm my best client. Like, I am always working on myself and experimenting on myself. But I just wanted to start with the fact that the food industry in and of itself is corrupt. Now we're seeing changes in the US because of RFK. And all of a sudden he's calling out all of these huge corporations, and they're all in bed together. So basically it's cyclical. It's a vicious circle. The way it works is the food industry is all about making you addicted to their food, and that's it. They don't care about your health. So all they want is for you to buy more of their food. And then when you eat that food, because it's got the way they make it addicted, and this is insane because they have scientists that are paid just to find that yum factor where it's so delicious that you want to eat more, but not too delicious that you get sick of it. It's just the right amount where your body just keeps craving more and more and more. And that's done with all of the chemicals. It's done with the fats, the salts, the sugars, the seed oil. Seed oil is like the number one poison that's in every food that people don't realize it. They're like vegetable oil. Oh, it must be good for me. No, any kind of seed oil is just toxic to our system. So that's what's happening, is the food industry is getting us addicted to their products. And then those products, because they're packed full of chemicals, if you're eating food and you look at the ingredient and you don't know what those are, the names of those chemicals are, they're chemicals that are harming you. The best food to eat is one that doesn't even have an ingredient label. The best food to eat is just one ingredient food. So whole, clean foods. But the food industry gets you addicted, and then you get sick. It makes you sick because your body can't process these. If these are not even naturally made foods, they're inorganic, and your body doesn't even know how to detox them. And sure, you might be okay for a while, but then it adds up, and then it becomes accumulative, and that's when you start to see all of these autoimmune diseases, and our body's starting to break down because it just can't detox these anymore. And then you get sick, and then you get put on a medication, and they're all in bed together. So the pharma industry is in bed with the food industry, and it's all about making money, as opposed to making healing foods that nourish your body so you can live a healthy, long life. So RFK is making a difference. He's calling these people out. He's listing all of the corruption. He's calling out all the large companies, the corporations that are in bed with each other. And it's sad because it's the companies that are designed to make you better. The Heart Association, the Diabetes Association, like they're all in it together, which is horrible. So enough of that. Now, what's the solution? This is the reason why I'm so passionate about food, is because all of our cells are made up of what we eat. We become what we eat. So if you're eating junk, your body becomes junk. But if you eat whole, clean foods, your body can heal itself. That's what it's designed to do. So no matter what you eat, no matter what kind of nutrition plan you're on, whole, clean food should be the base of it. And whole, clean foods are just foods that's one ingredient, foods that don't have an ingredient list. And the closer the food is grown and created from your house, the better. Because that means the less preservatives, the less chemicals needed to, like, God, who doesn't love a perfect grape? But when it comes from Chile, it's like, okay, how long is a grape supposed to last? So we really want to be conscious of buying food that is made and created close to home, so it doesn't have to be preserved. Local is best. And then you're supporting your local economy, you're supporting your local farmers. Anything that has more than one ingredient can also be a whole, clean food. Like if you're making something, just use whole, clean foods. For me, if you've followed me at all, you know that I don't like to cook, but I love like putting stuff together and blending stuff and all that kind of thing. So I'm a big fan of putting more than one ingredient together, but they're all whole, clean foods. Like for example, I just made because of the way I'm eating now, which is high animal based, I made a cottage cheese chocolate pudding, and it was delicious, but I needed to sweeten it. And I sweeten with dates because dates don't spike your blood sugar. It's proven that when you eat a date, it just keeps your blood sugar the same. It's a minimal spike. So I use that as a sweetener for anything that I make. And I used all whole, clean ingredients to make this cottage cheese chocolate pudding, and it was amazing. So that is a whole, clean food. It's not just one whole, clean ingredient, but every ingredient that went in was a whole, clean food. And that's what it was like when I went to Spain. And this is what kind of was like, whoa, because I was definitely plant-based and no oils and just keeping it super clean. But when I went to Spain, I was able to eat bread because the bread is made fresh by these ladies right there and sold as soon as they make it, and they only used whole, clean ingredients. There's no chemicals in it at all. And the Spanish diet is designed around these breads. And not only would you eat this bread for breakfast, but you would put oil on your bread and then salt and then a tomato paste. And it was the most delicious thing. And this is what everybody eats. And these people are so healthy. And then they also eat hamon. And it's not ham like is created here with processed nitrates, and it's just horrible yuckiness. This is a meat that is just cured over time. Like it's an art form, and you take thin slices of it, and it doesn't have any chemicals in it, and it's a whole, clean food. And when I started eating this way, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, what I was thinking about wasn't necessarily the only way to eat. Not that it isn't true, because I was doing calorie density, which works. But it depends on what type of person you are, what type of nutritional plan you're following. So if you're a plant-based person, then calorie density works 1,000%. But if you're a carnivore or an animal-based person, then this other way works too. Like just eating those foods, that works too. But the key for both of them is that they're just whole, clean foods. So no matter what your belief is, or what type of food or what way of eating you want, the baseline always gets to be whole, clean foods in whatever arena you want to dabble in. There's no right or wrong. When I coach my clients, they don't come and work with me only if they're plant-based. They come and work with me if they want to heal their bodies, if they want to process, if they want to learn how to lose weight, if they want to learn how to balance their hormones, if they want to learn how to balance their central nervous system, all of these wonderful things. And no matter what you eat, I coach all of these people, and the message is the same. The baseline, the foundation should be whole, clean foods, period. And what I would love to see is that food is based on, like in Spain, it's based on community and connection. Just being with each other and enjoying good food that you've made, that you've grown, while you're laughing and having a drink. Like, this is what it's all about, because food is energy also. And so if you are afraid to eat food, or if you're angry while you're eating food or making your food, but if you make your food with love, that gets translated into it. If you grow your food with love, that gets translated into it. When your mom makes you food that she grew in her garden and made it because she loves you, there's no better food than that, because that's the energy that's put into it. Now, one of the key things that I wanted to talk about also when I was traveling, because I always lose weight when I travel, not that I'm trying to, but it just happens because all these other countries that I go to have this philosophy. Just eat whole, clean foods that are created in your community. And also when I'm traveling, I don't have junk in my house because I'm going from place to place, and I don't gather, like collect a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have time to build a pantry full of extra food. I'm only focused on what I'm going to be eating in that day and the next day, and that's it. Because I did notice that when I was in Spain, their hummus is amazing, and I would get hummus, like olive hummus, and I would just eat the whole thing. So even though it's healthy, I would eat the whole thing because it's so delicious, but I didn't need it. So the key is to really clear out your pantry and only have the essentials, all the whole clean stuff. I also used to, when my kids were little, would say, when I'm going grocery shopping, oh, maybe my kids would like this. And I knew it was me that wanted it. I knew it every single time because I would eat it with them. But if you can really do a reality check and check yourself when you go through your pantry and be like, yeah, why do I even have this? I know the rule is if it's in your house, eventually you're going to eat it. Maybe it might not be today, but when you have that breakdown or that horrible moment, you're going to be eating that food. So nothing, no junk in your house. Keep it clean. And then if you have all of this down pat, the one thing that you want to focus on is the emotional eating, because you know what to eat, you know when to eat it, you know how much, because you're listening to your body. You don't have to count your calories. Your body always tells you. We want to get back to trusting our body, especially as women. Our body is designed to tell us when we're hungry and designed to tell us when we're full. But because the food industry has hijacked our dopamine, it's like we're just addicted all the time. We want more sugar, we want more oil, we want more fat, we want more sugar. But if we can clear all of that out and then listen to our cues, because now our ghrelin and our leptin, which are our hormones, hunger and satiety hormones, now they're actually in balance and on track. And if we want to eat something other than that, when we're not hungry, we check in, am I really hungry? No, then it's an emotional eat. And that's where I do a lot of work with my clients, is eating because you're sad, eating because you're lonely, eating because you're angry, eating because you're bored. That was the thing for me, bored. And when you can really learn how to work through that, then those ways of sabotaging yourself are in your awareness, and you know how to deal with them. So if you can deal with that emotional eating, you are golden. You are on track. You have all the tools that you need to have a healthy life and to let go of the obsession with food. Like for me, I love eating, and I would think about food all the time. But now when I know there's an abundance and I can choose to eat what I want when I want, it releases all of that pressure. And then I know how to process when emotional eating is going on. Because here's how it works. The body is designed to heal itself, but it needs to be in homeostasis. That's when it's perfectly balanced. So I always believe that nature has all the answers, and our body is nature. So we should follow the cues of nature with our body. And nature is always balancing itself out. That's what you see. Nature is just a game of balance, and our body is the same. Our body is just trying to balance itself out. So when our body is in balance, it's in homeostasis. And then disease can't exist in our body because it's designed to heal itself as long as everything is an organic compound. But when we start to get these man-made compounds in, that's when our body struggles because it doesn't know how to defend against it, to detox against it, because it's inorganic. So it can't break it down. But when we get back into homeostasis, it can heal itself. And there's two things that push us out of that. One is toxicity, too much of something, like the heavy metals or the chemicals in the food, or deficiency, not enough of something. So maybe our food doesn't have enough of the vitamins and the minerals. Maybe we're not getting enough sunshine, or drinking enough water, or there's too many chemicals in our water. There's too much chlorine in our water. So toxicity or deficiency, and it's our job to figure out which one it is. We get to be detectives, and that's by being in tune with our body and listening to the feedback that it's giving us, because our body always knows the answers and it gives us feedback all the time. But some of the times we're not listening, or we don't know how to translate that feedback. That's all it is. It's super simple in that way. So I recently, because of my trip to Spain, went carnivore or animal based. And it's kind of loose, like there's no hard and fast rules, but it's like all animal based, as much meat as possible, because of my experience in Spain. I thought, and I love experimenting on my body to see what it does, because the body is so complex that we never know all the answers, and we're always learning and growing. We can't possibly know how this beautiful creation knows, because it's so complex in nature. But that's what makes it so amazing. It's a miracle. And so I wanted to just try something different and explore something different. So I decided that I would experiment on my body and do this. And because of my trip to Spain, and also because of my boys, I raised them with the thoughts of anything is possible, and you got to figure out what's best for you. Like if somebody is working with me and they're like, my body just craves meat, I'm like, well, that's your body telling you you should eat meat. You work with that. Oh, my body is telling me I don't want to eat meat. Then you shouldn't. You should work with that. It's not one hard, fast rule, because we are just such unique individuals. You got to listen to your body and get in tune with it. So because my boys have done a ton of research, because they're like me, they're curious people, and they believe that health is everything, and the health is up to you. You got to take your health into your own hands, and everything you eat makes you healthier, it makes you sick. Every bite makes you healthier, makes you sick. That's so powerful when you think about it. And in North America, most of it makes us sick. And so that's why they've done a ton of research and studying, and they decided that they were going to try this, and they've been doing it for a while. And I'm like, you know what? And they love and they tell me all the benefits, and they love it. So I'm like, I'm going to try it too, just as an experiment, and let's see what happens. So that's where I'm at right now. I feel like there's no one right or wrong way to do it. The foundation should always be plant-based. You are in charge of your health. You want to nourish your body with whole, clean foods, and whatever that looks like. But it should always be, the baseline should always be whole, clean foods, no matter what nutritional diet you're following. That's the key. And that you are in charge of your health, and we want to get into homeostasis. Just give our body everything it needs to be in homeostasis and balanced, and it will take care of us. It will heal itself. So it doesn't matter if you're vegan, carnivore, pescatarian, doesn't even matter. The foundation of your nutrition gets to be whole, clean, local foods. So I'm doing this for 30 days. I'm committed to it till the end of April. I'm going to see how it goes. And then who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I have an idea in my head what's going to happen, but I'm just going to enjoy the ride, and I'm going to be curious along the way. What's best for my body? What does my body tell me works best for it? And what is my body telling me that I need to do, that I get to do more of in order to balance itself out? Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that cares about my health. I have the vested interest. I'm the one that gets to live with this body. So I want it to be as healthy as possible, especially in midlife when I'm going to go out and I'm going out and doing all these wonderful, crazy things. I want my body to be able to support me in this and be like, let's go. Let's go, girlfriend. Now is your time. So remember, when you are healthy, you have hundreds of problems. But when you're sick, you have only one. So let's stay healthy by nourishing our body with whole, clean foods. If you have questions, hit me up. I love, love, love talking about this. And of course, it can be confusing because there's so much misinformation out there and everybody's different. So there's not one answer that's right for everybody because you are a unique individual made up of trillions and trillions of cells that make you different from everybody else. And you are meant to be here. The world needs you just as you are, giving your gift to the world because you're part of it. You're part of that plan. So go out there and nourish that beautiful body of yours so that you can keep giving to the world. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first with every bite because remember, every bite either makes you healthy or it makes you sick. Thank you for listening and have an amazing day.